Hello, everyone, and welcome to Blow the Whistle Sports. I'm your host, Wayne Holloway. Please like, subscribe, and share. And like always, if you want to see something on the show or you have any ideas for us, drop them in the comments or hit us in the DMs or any one of our social media outlets. We holla back. I don't want to hold y'all up. We got a nice, tight show for y'all. A lot of things going on. I hope you guys did well in your March Madness brackets, as I should say. I didn't do so well, but I know my compadre did, and let me introduce him. It's the man of the hour, Mr. Steven Rubain. How you doing, sir?
Man, I'd be doing a lot better if Purdue and Iowa would have won those championship games. But overall, it was a good tournament.
What was your percentage until then?
I was at 96.7% in both of them
Ooh.
until the final. I had both championship games right as far as who was going to be in them, but I had the wrong team to win. But we're going to talk about
close to the money, but no cigar.
No cigar. So we're going to talk about that today. But a lot of good sports going in. But it's going to be the mini-me version of the show. We're going to try to keep it down to about a half an hour or so, just to give you guys all those nice little tidbits.
It's not that much going on for us to even really get into anything.
Yeah,
next week we're going to open the phone lines.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we want to know what your opinions are.
Because it's going to be NBA playoff time and it's going to be NFL draft time. So we want to definitely hear what you guys have to say. Let's get right to it because I said we're going to keep this nice and tight. So let's start with that NCAA tournaments. Because we have to say now tournaments because both the women's and the men's tournament are huge.
And it was exciting.
For
a change.
And for the first time in NCAA history, the women's championship outrated the men's championship game, and it wasn't even close.
That's crazy.
Crazy. For a time, there was a time when people thought, well, women's basketball will never make it anywhere close to competing against the men. Can't say that no more.
Well, it's not thanks to the women, though. More men are starting to watch women's basketball because it's starting to be exciting.
Well, I think just overall, more people, period, are starting to watch it. It's an overall thing. I think, definitely more men are watching, of course, but definitely more women also are getting into the women's game, which is huge. And so you've seen this, we've always had role models in women's sports, but I think right now we have some that transcend just being a woman's role model to being a role model, period.
Yes, sir.
So let's get into this. And the theme I'm going to talk about is great player, all-time great player versus an all-time great team. Because when we look into this tournament, the all-time great teams beat the all-time great players in both the men's and the women's. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. But let's talk about those ratings. So for the women's game, we had Iowa versus South Carolina. They got 18.7 million viewers and at a high of 24 million. 24 million people watched the women's final at one time. That's by far the highest rated women's game and the highest rated college game, period, men's or women's, since 2019. So before the COVID, this was the highest rated game, either men's or women's. So that's huge. Now, the men's game had 14.82 million. You had Purdue going up against Connecticut. So let's start with the women's game because since they were by far the draw this year, we had Caitlin Clark, who has just been unless you've been on another planet, you haven't been hearing about her, seeing her in commercials, just everything Caitlin Clark.
I got to take my hat off to that young lady. She did her thing.
She did her thing. Yes, she did.
And that's the lady that's Ice Cube invited to the three, right?
Yes, absolutely. She got an invitation for a 5-year contract to play for 1 year in the Big Three. So we're going to see whether or not she's going to either take that offer up or going to the WNBA draft.
Why would she to go for less money?
Yeah, well, I mean,
she can always go into the WNBA.
Well, the question is going to be legacy. So she could have that one legacy of being the first woman to play in a professional men's sports league, or she can have that legacy of being the greatest woman college WNBA player of all time. So that's going to be interesting.
Why can't she have both?
Well, she can't play in both.
Well, the Ice Cube thing is only for 1 year, right?
Well, yeah.
Or is that a $5 million multi-year deal?
Well, I mean, you could conceivably say, yeah, she could play there for 1 year, leave, and then go back to the WNBA. I mean, it's
and
decisions.
Then play in the WNBA and stop when she retires, go back and play.
Well, yeah, I mean, she got decisions to make. We don't know which way she wants to go, so it's going to come down to the draft is the 15th. It's coming up. I think it's next Monday is the draft for WNBA. So
what I wanted to ask you about, what's the big hype? Why is everybody hating on this girl? Why she doesn't get the I guess what I want to say, it's like everybody's down on her because of her moxie, or what is it?
Well, everybody's down. Bottom line is that whenever you have what quote unquote people feel is a manufactured superstar. I mean, think about LeBron James in the NBA. He's been getting a lot of the same gripe as that. When you get that kind of that calling that you're the next great big thing, people instantly want to draw hatred towards you. And so I think she's just getting a lot of that kind of backlash because she's getting so much attention that people are instantly just like,
she's a great player.
Right. But human nature is such that people always want to try to pull the greatness down.
I even saw people trying to throw color into it.
Well, yeah, because like I said, it always comes down to people want to find a reason to draw hatred to someone who gets all the attention.
Well, here at Blow the Whistle Sports, we want to give the young lady her just due. Say her name again, Steve.
Caitlin Clark for the University of Iowa.
Man, you get mad props here. Mad props. Now, all that talent.
Now, I will say, though, and I was mentioning the point about a great team versus a great player. Now, in the championship game, you had the South Carolina Gamecocks, who were undefeated, #1 and the defending national champions. And so they kind of got put to the back seat because all the attention has been put on Caitlin Clark. And I think they kind of left some sour grapes with them, like, wait a second, we're #1, we're undefeated. Why are we not getting the attention? And so they kind of went to there with that kind of mindset of, we're going to show them. And they did. They won 87-75, whereas
that might have been the adjustment that they needed to get over the hump.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, as I was mentioning earlier, I said a great team usually always beats a great player if that player does not have the supporting cast. And I'm going to explain to you why she didn't have the supporting cast. Because Caitlin Clark, while she had 30 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists, she went 10 for 28, which is hardly not good in any percentage shooting wise, and 5 for 13 from 3. She had a couple of players.
So she had an off game that game,
yeah,
which would threw it off.
Right, and the other players didn't step up enough to help them win. Whereas South Carolina was more balanced. They had more players doing well all across the board, and that great team was able to overcome anything that Caitlin Clark had. And towards the end, I don't know if you watched the second half, she was throwing up 40-footers. I mean, she was just dribbling down the court, 2 steps past the free throw line, just throwing it up. She just lost her. I think she lost her cool. I think she just panicked, and it was just.
Well, we put that much pressure on somebody, right, especially a college player, all this pressure about being great, you're a great person, you're a great lady. Don't let these people do that to you. They put all that pressure into that pressure cooker, and she just popped.
Well, yeah, but when you talk about greatness, the great ones overcome the pressure, and that's the struggle is, when she gets to the next level and she's on a team with, WNBA, she's going to have a more team balance. Let's see how well she does championship-wise, because the legacy she's going to have in college basketball is that, she's an all-time leading scorer, but she didn't win a championship.
Well, see, I put that on her coach. Her coach should have seen where she was at, sat her down, calmed her down, and made it be a team game again.
Well,
not the Caitlin Clark, right?
Yeah,
not the Caitlin Clark show, because that's basically what they were trying to do with those stats that you just said.
Right. Well, I mean, that's the problem is when you are an all-time great player like that, do you have the trust in your teammates to play team ball? And it looked like in the second half she lost the trust in her teammates, and she felt like she had to do it all herself. And that's the struggle. I bring this up, like I said, because people are getting more and more into that whole LeBron versus Kobe thing, and LeBron versus Michael, and who's the greatest of all time, and blah, blah, blah. And they start talking about championships and everything else. Championships is not a barometer to determine a player's worth, because you got to have a team to win a championship on any level, whether it's pro, college, high school, whatever. If you don't have a team, no matter how great you are, unless you're going up against mediocre competition, you're not going to win a championship. And think about it, in Michael's 17 years in the NBA, he has 6 championships, yes, but then he has 11 years he didn't even make the finals.
Wow.
So that means 11 seasons, as great as he is, as great as he was, that team was not good enough to overcome, to beat whoever team that was that year. And the same for Kobe, 20 seasons, 13 of those seasons, he didn't make a final.
And look, I'm not about to sit
And
here and
same
let you
for
smudge
LeBron.
people's name because you LeBron.
No,
Everybody knows you love LeBron.
I just said LeBron for his 20 seasons, 10 of those seasons, he didn't make the finals either. I said no matter how great the player is, you still got to have the team.
This
Obviously,
is true.
All three of them, while they all have championships, they also have many seasons where they didn't make championships, and people have to forget that it's not about LeBron, it's not about Michael, it's not about Kobe, it's about the team. And so that's why I'm bringing that up.
And for the lastly, and I want to say this, and I want to be clear, I want everybody to hear me. There is no competition between LeBron, Kobe, and Michael. They were all great in their era. No, they were better than great in their era. They were untouchable in all their eras. And if you go back, you can watch, you can see when Kobe came in, Mike was playing. Mike wasn't the same Mike.
No.
But it was a passing of the torch.
Right.
Kobe had respect for Mike, just like when LeBron came in, he had respect for Kobe. And if you want to be totally honest, Kobe wasn't doing it like that when he first got here. He was a great player, but everything was still on Mike, the GOAT.
Right.
Then once Mike retired, it was Kobe, the GOAT. When LeBron came in, he wasn't doing it like he's doing it now. Kobe ran everything when he was in the league. And when they played against each other, he still ran it. Well, don't compare errors.
Yeah. No, I mean they each had their error, and that's the key. But the error was but the team is the key about the error.
Wait a minute.
They had their error, but the team had their error. That's where you get it confused on. They had their error, yes, but the team, the Chicago Bulls of the 90s were the error. The Lakers of the 2000s was the error, and then LeBron with whether it was Cleveland or with Miami was the error. So that's the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s. Those were the errors, and each one had that error.
Exactly.
So yeah. So I
stop trying to compare them.
I'm agreeing.
All the rules were different in all those errors. It was different. There was different. It was a difference.
I'm agreeing.
Wasn't the same.
And a greater example of this is the men's final. We had Purdue versus Connecticut. Now Zach Edey's 7'4", 2-time now NCAA Player of the Year.
7'4".
7'4". He had 37 points and 10 rebounds, and their team still lost by 15.
My goodness, put in the work and still didn't get it.
Now, outside of his 37 points, the only other player who was in double digits had 12 points, and nobody else had more than 5 points for that team. Now that's a one-man team right there. If you only have 60 points in the game and you had 37 of those points, and everybody else on the team was scoring 2 points and 4 points, you can't win in major college basketball. So,
well, we know what they expected for him when he comes to the NBA.
Yeah, so he's gonna have a whole different league in the NBA because in the NBA you got 7'4" guys who are shooting threes, and so it's gonna be interesting to see how his game translates to the next level.
And it's funny how the NBA changed because normally these big players didn't even take those shots.
You weren't allowed. The coach get mad at you if you took a 3-point shot in the other league. You get put on the bench.
So what does it come to now? What are we at?
Well, it's a different time. I mean, just like with football, just like everything, it's a different time. The sport has evolved, and now it's now a league. They don't allow the physicality they used to have. So now it's a league of finesse and shooting threes, and so that's where the league is now. So you got to be able to shoot a three, whether you're 5'11" or 7'4". You got to be able to shoot the three. So that's where we are now. So speaking of shooting the three, NBA is in this final week before it starts its playoffs.
Oh yeah.
So let's get into this real quick. Actually, forget that. NBA right now it looks like the Celtics, of course, are the 1 seed in the NBA. You got after them 14 games back. 14 games back. You got the Bucks, the Knicks, the Cavs, the Magic, the Pacers. And then as of right now, the 4 teams in the playing games would be the Sixers, Heat, Bulls, and Hawks. Now in the Western Conference, you have a much closer battle. As you have right now as we speak, they're getting ready to play the T-Wolves and the Nuggets. They're playing for pretty much the 1 seed. So winner of that game will probably get the 1 seed. Then you got the Thunder game back. Then you have the Clippers, Mavs, Pelicans. And the 4 teams in the playoffs, playing games, right now look like the Suns, Kings, Lakers, and Warriors.
And if you want to know the score of that T-Wolf game, T-Wolf 7, Nuggets 11.
There you go. So Nuggets got a 4-point lead. So it's going to be interesting. Nuggets, the defending NBA champions, will they get that 1 seed or will they concede it to the 2? So it's interesting now because of injuries in both the Eastern and Western conferences, teams that people thought would be in the top realm are actually now in the play-in games. And so it's going to be a lot of strategy as to who wants to play. Because right now, I don't think many teams want to play either the Lakers or the Warriors in the Western Conference. And probably not too many teams want to play the 76ers or Heat in the Eastern Conference.
Do you think the Nuggets are going to repeat?
If I had to say right now, assuming for health, right now they look like they are a pretty healthy team. I would give them the favorites right now, yes. Now, any injury, of course, can always, and speaking of injuries, Giannis, our man, Mr. Greek Freak, avoided major injury the other day as he now has a significant calf injury that's going to keep him out of the last 3 games. But the fear was it was an Achilles that would have ended his season. So thankfully, it wasn't an Achilles, but it is a calf injury. And, you know, people who've had calf injuries before, those things can linger and cause difficulty. So let's see how he turns out. Right. So let's see how he turns out in the playoffs. But the Bucks, who, like I said, are struggling, you know, they're at the 2 seed, but will they be strong enough? You know, without Giannis, they pretty much have no chance of winning the Eastern Conference. So let's see how that plays out. But it's going to be interesting. I'm excited. Now, I'm going to tell you guys real quick, those who aren't familiar with how the playoffs now work in the NBA, this weekend we're going to have, the season ends Sunday. Starting Tuesday, they're going to start the play-in games. And how the play-in games work, the 7th seed will play the 8th seed, and then the 9th seed will play the 10th seed.
Okay.
The winner of the 7th versus 8th automatically gets into the playoffs as the 7th seed. So it's a 1-game winner. When you win, you're in. Now the loser of the 7th, 8th seed now has to play the winner of the 9th, 10th seed. And then the loser of the 9th, 10th seed goes home. So then you have one more game between whoever wins of the 7th, 8th, and the 9th, 10th to get that last playoff spot. And that's the same for the East and the West. So I thought that was a real ingenious way, the NBA, to expand the playoffs, give something that teams now have motivation to continue playing. Because think about it. Right now, if we didn't have the playing games, the 76ers, the Heat, the Lakers, and Warriors would not be in the playoffs, would not have any chance to get in the playoffs. That would kill the league.
The Lakers and the Warriors play against each other?
Yes. Well, as possibly. It can still change. There's still a chance that either the Lakers or Warriors could move up to the 8th seed, at which point they won't have to play against each other. They'll have to play against the Suns, or it could be the Pelicans, because the Pelicans could fall down. So
it's hilarious how the Lakers and the Warriors are 9th and 10th.
9th and 10th. Isn't that amazing?
That's hilarious.
So you might possibly have a 1-game Lakers-Warriors game to determine who has a chance to get in the playoffs. Can you imagine how exciting that game's going to be?
Very exciting.
Very exciting.
I like the way the major teams are on the out, and these teams that you don't get that much shine on the end. I love that.
Yeah, I do love that too. I mean, it's like I said, I enjoy now how the NBA does the playoffs, and it gives me more interest in watching those early games, because before it was like, the first round, who really cares? But now these first round games matter a lot more. So I'll be watching. So I'll be starting Tuesday. I'll be watching all those games. So yeah,
I'm excited. Me both.
Yes. And so the NBA, we're going to see where it goes. Interesting things. We got a couple coaching decisions before we get to the NFL. First of all, Tara Vanderveer. Those who aren't familiar with her, she is the most winningest coach, men or women, in NCAA history. Predominantly, most of her career was at Stanford, where she won 3 national championships. I believe it was like 13 Final Fours, like 1,216 wins, over 271 losses, which is an amazing 820%. She, already Hall of Famer, Olympic coach champion. She's done it all. So she's retiring. She's going to pass it on to one of her former players to take over.
Wow.
realm. So
it's kind of hard to put it down when you get all those accolades.
I know. So we're going to give her props because, like I said, I remember her coaching when I was in middle and high school. So she's been around forever.
Wow.
And give her props for an amazing college career.
What's her name?
Tara Vanderveer. Yes, she well deserved. And enjoy your retirement. And then on the men's coaching realm, John Calipari, who, well, for the most part, he's been known for his time at Kentucky. He's the one and out guy. He's the guy who likes to recruit all the top players who he knows are only going to be there for 1 year, get 1 year out of them, then send them all to the pros, and then the next year get a whole new group, have them for 1 year, blah, 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 blah. So he's been doing this for years and years. I guess now the heat's finally on him at Kentucky because even though he gets all these top recruits, they don't seem to go anywhere. He hasn't had a championship in like almost 10, 11 years now.
Ooh.
And once again this year, they were upset by Oakland in like the second round.
Stuck in the mud.
So, Kentucky's a blue blood state where you just, it's win or else, you got to go. So he decided to jump ship before they fired him. So he went on and transferred to Arkansas.
Smart man.
So he said, I'm not going to let you guys fire me. I'm going to go on and give me a job where I want to work before.
I haven't been fired. I left.
Exactly. I left on my own. So he had his press conference today where he's saying, I'm going to make Arkansas the blue blood capital of the SEC, blah, 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 blah. Saying all the right things that, going to get the fan base there all pumped up. So we're going to keep an eye on Arkansas and see where they go with him as coach. But now Kentucky, one of the most prestigious colleges in the country, are going to have to do a coaching search. So I'm sure there are going to be many number of players, coaches.
They'll be just fine.
They'll be fine. So yeah. So let's see where that goes with Kentucky. But let's end on this NFL because we said we're going to keep this a mini-me show. The NFL. I know last week, those who listened to the show, we talked about the frustration we have with these NFL players and not being able to stay out of trouble with the law.
My goodness,
we got
all this money, you made it to where you wanted to make it, and then you just let it go up in smoke.
Let it go up in smoke. Well, we are now a retired player. This is now a retired all-time great, Terrell Suggs. Those who know anything about the NFL know Terrell Suggs has had what
Baltimore
should
Ravens,
be,
right?
Baltimore Ravens.
Ooh.
Should be a Hall of Fame caliber career.
What you mean should be?
Well, it should be. I mean, he grew up in an era where there's so many great defensive.
That's an automatic, isn't it?
Well, not anymore because Terrell Suggs decided. I guess he didn't like how his Starbucks coffee was taking too long.
Say it's not so.
So it's so. Yes, it's so. So he now has been arrested for pulling out a gun and threatening another driver's life at the Starbucks in Arizona.
Wait a minute. Wait. You got to say this again for me, Steve. Terrell Suggs
in the drive-thru.
Future Hall of Famer.
Multimillionaire.
Terrell Suggs got mad at somebody
at the drive-thru at Starbucks.
And they didn't do anything to him but make him upset. Mm-hmm. And he went ballistic.
Allegedly. Let's throw out there allegedly. Number one is in Arizona. And number two, until he gets his trial, we got to sit there and sit. We don't know if it was made up or da-da-da. But
I don't want to sit here and throw mud on people because I know when people have money, people do strange things to try to get the money from the people.
Yeah.
But come on now, this guy. Please make this not be so.
I'm with you. Listen to me.
Please make this just be a story.
This just irritates me to no end. I mean, it's like over and over again. I don't understand.
Pro Bowler, Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, just don't understand it. It makes you just not want to leave the house. I mean, it's just like you can't even go to a drive-thru at the Starbucks.
Well, you got to know how to act, and you must know we're all humans and we're all stupid.
Right.
We're all, nobody's better than the other. We're all stupid. Everybody has their that thing that you're just like, I don't like that. But guess what? We all have to deal with each other.
Absolutely.
And my goodness, Terrell Suggs, Rice, whatever happened to Rice?
Ray Rice is,
not Ray Rice, but Rashid.
We're gonna get to him in a second. We're gonna get to him.
Okay, man.
I want to get to the new one before we get to the old one. So
it's another new one.
No. That was the new one, Terrell Suggs. Now you mentioned Rashid Rice. Now, Rashid Rice, they now have an arrest warrant for him, as they do now have videos showing him and his friends leaving the scene of this car crash. So
they had that video that day we saw him walk off.
I know. Well,
whistling.
Well,
like nothing happened.
So he's looking at hopefully he'll get off with no jail time, but he might possibly get some jail time. So I don't understand it, man. I'm with you.
He better be thanking God that he did not kill someone.
I know.
And he the NFL, I'm surprised they have not dropped him yet.
Well, I mean, they're going to give him the benefit of let's go through the process.
What happens to the benefit of the doubt when you know 100% this man was behind the wheel? What happens there, Steve?
Well, I mean, remember, first of all, this is the Kansas City Chiefs, so they get the respect of being the Kansas City Chiefs. So now this ain't the Washington Commanders. This is the Chiefs, where they're a respected organization. So you know how it goes. They're going to give them the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. I mean, at some point, Andy Reid's going to have to make a decision.
I hate that for this young man because, you know, you make a quick decision and it just puts a stain on you for the rest of your life.
Well,
it's a stain.
It's going to be a stain for sure.
This is a stain that's going to stick. And what makes it bad, you just got a Super Bowl ring. Your worth had went through the roof. Mm-hmm. Now you just did. Now it's going toward the bottom again.
It just sunk. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna pray that hopefully the benefit of the doubt will come through. Like I said, didn't kill anybody, but hopefully he won't be able to ruin his career. And we'll go with there. But let's get some.
How can he not?
I know. Well, I mean,
I'm confused.
Listen to me. I
saw a Raiders player, wide receiver, another young man, first year. I saw him behind the wheel, but he killed somebody. He killed somebody driving too fast.
But he was going 100-some miles an hour too.
Exactly.
We don't know about Rashid Rice's speed. We don't know what exactly. Like I said, it's going to come down to the trial.
Did you see the video?
I saw the video. I saw it.
The video was horrible.
It's horrible. I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying all we can do is just hope for the best for him.
Why put yourself in this position?
I'm agreeing with you.
Once again,
it's horrible. Horrible.
Get you a bodyguard.
Yeah. Well,
Hit me on bodyguard 784.
Yeah.
That's on Instagram.
Yes.
And I'll hook you up with a bodyguard. No problem. Somebody to drive you around. Somebody to take care of you. Chauffeur you around. Yeah. Come on, people. Come on.
It's common sense, but common sense
Wake
sometimes,
up.
I don't know. And like I said, it always seems to be in the NFL that these type of things happen. The NFL got to do something about it. We said last week, the NFL has to address this with their players, or has to address it as their organization goes. Now, let's go on some positive news. We too much negativity with the NFL. Josh Allen, who last year, those who don't know, defensive player for the Jags, had 17.5 sacks, and he was
What's his name?
Josh Allen.
That's kind of like the quarterback, right?
Yeah. Well, this Josh Allen, we have two Josh Allen. This Josh Allen just got paid a 5-year, $150 million contract.
Congratulations, sir.
Yes, sir.
5 years, how much?
$150 million. So
all money.
It pays to be on defense. So good. Congratulations to him. And we got one other big story in the NFL this week. I don't know, did you hear this one today? The Packers and the Eagles are going to play the first NFL game in South America, in Sao Paulo, Brazil. And get this, it's going to be on Friday night, the Friday night after the Thursday opening game, September 6th. So we're going to get a Thursday game and a Friday game that opening week.
NFL trying to maximize.
The NFL trying to maximize big time. That's going to be huge ratings. It's going to be good football and a whole new market. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
I'm just anxious for football to come back. Fantasy football, come back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let's talk about, so next week, we're going to really delve into, by now we're going to have the NBA playoffs pretty much already set. We're going to have the NFL draft is going to be big on the market at that time.
Are you going to come over and watch the draft?
I got to talk about that. We got to work that out.
You know, it's not really big for me because Carolina don't have a first pick, but it is what it is. It's still an NFL draft.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe on Friday. Maybe we'll do the second round, because that's going to be big for you, the second and third round.
Second round, because we got 2 picks in the second round.
You got 2 picks in the second round, and we got quite a few in the second and third round.
Honestly, anything can happen because there's a lot of pieces moving around.
Yeah, there's a lot going on that Thursday. So I'm going to see. gotta work the next day. So I don't know that first round, but second and third round, maybe we can make that happen.
Yeah, the first round. But we will report the first round to you guys.
Yes.
Every Wednesday at 7 p.m. sharp, Blow the Whistle Sports. Tune in. We will be here to give you your latest and all your sports updates.
Absolutely. I'm excited. We got a lot of good sports coming up.
We got a lot of good things coming, some surprise stuff that you guys don't know about.
Yes.
It's still being fine-tuned. Right. We won't announce it yet, but it's coming soon.
Absolutely. I'm excited. So
Me too.
Let's go. So you got a big weekend this weekend. We got golf. You guys care about the Masters. We got quite a few events to watch.
Oh, shout out to James Johnson in the building. He said Mike's in the building. How you doing, sir?
Well, welcome. Thank you guys for listening. We appreciate it. Like I said, we're just two fans giving out the facts. We're telling you guys exactly how it is. And so we're not sitting there sugarcoating it or trying to make it out like
exactly. We're coming from our point of view, which is your point of view, which is the people. For the people, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because the NFL would try to sugarcoat something and try to gloss over something. No, we're going to point it out. And we're going to say what we don't like. And we're going to say what we do like. We love the NFL, but come on, refs. Get the reffing together.
Get it together. I agree. Watch what the UFL's doing. The UFL's now done week 2. I haven't heard one major controversy yet because everything is done with you can see it live and in person. There's nothing being undercut, no underhanded
and
stuff.
I encourage people to go out and watch the UFL, watch the officiating, and see if you want to see this type of officiating in the NFL.
Absolutely.
Where when something is not clear, they go back, they watch it, and they clarify.
And they clarify, yes.
And they telling you what's going on as it's happening.
It's none of this, God, why did they make that call? I don't know why they made that call. And you never get an answer as to why that call was made. It just goes in the annals of, we made the call, so oh well.
And then the NFL wants to put out an apology next week. Right. We're sorry.
Oh yeah, we made a mistake, but okay, well, are you gonna fix it? No,
we're gonna leave it like that.
But we made a mistake.
But we just wanted to say that we know that we dropped the ball.
We know we dropped the ball, but we'll just leave it at that. No, nothing's gonna change. No, nothing happens to the official, but yeah, he dropped the ball.
Hey, but next week, Wednesday, 7 p.m., we will see you guys. Blow the Whistle Sports. You got anything else to say, Steve?
Just say peace out.
We out, people. See y'all next week.
Next week.